4 body parts she shows if she likes you. You think attraction is hidden in perfect lines, perfect timing, perfect moves. But most of the time, the truth is sitting right in front of you, and you miss it because you're too busy performing instead of paying attention. You think you need to become louder, smoother, more impressive. But the man who sees clearly does not chase signals in panic. He notices, he stays grounded, and that changes everything. If you need reminders like this, subscribe now, because the world is full of noise, fantasy, and weak advice, and you need truth in your ear more than comfort in your feed. Not because this channel needs your click, because you need standards, you need clarity, you need to hear the truth before your emotions talk you into another avoidable mistake. Here's what this really means. When a woman likes you, she does not always announce it with words. She often reveals it with attention, openness, and physical orientation, not random movement, not TikTok body language nonsense, real patterns, human patterns. The body leaks the truth when the mouth is still deciding what it wants to say. And if you know what to look for, you stop living in confusion. You stop begging for certainty. You stop turning every smile into a fantasy and every delay into a tragedy. Because that is the real problem, isn't it? It's not that women are impossible to read. It's that too many men read with hunger instead of discipline. You don't observe, you project, you don't see what is there, you see what you hope is there. That's called neediness. That's called emotional self-deception. And if you do not fix that, no signal will help you, because your desperation will distort all of them. So let's make it simple. 4 body parts, 4 real-world indicators, not guarantees, not mind reading, indicators, clues, pieces of a larger picture. And a grounded man knows the difference between a clue and a conclusion. First, her eyes. Not just whether she looks at you. Everybody looks at everybody. I'm talking about how she looks at you. Does her gaze return to you when it doesn't need to? Does she hold eye contact for a beat longer than normal, then smile, then look away, then come back again? That matters, because attention is expensive. In a world where everybody is distracted, repeated attention is not an accident. A woman who likes you often checks in with her eyes before she checks in with her words. Her eyes look for you across the room. Her eyes stay present when you speak. Her eyes don't just scan you like background furniture. They land, they linger, they re-engage. Now here's the hard truth. A lot of men get one glance and build a whole relationship in their heads. Calm down. One look means nothing. Repeated, warm, voluntary eye contact means something. You need the pattern, not the moment. Reality, not fantasy. Presence, not projection. If you can't tell the difference, you are not reading her. You are reading your loneliness. Second, her feet. Yes, her feet. Because feet are honest. People can force a smile. They can fake politeness. They can say the right thing while mentally planning their escape. But the feet often point where the interest goes. If her feet keep turning toward you, even in a group, pay attention. If her body has options but her stance keeps opening in your direction, pay attention. If she could angle out, but instead angles in, that matters. It means part of her is investing in your presence before she has consciously packaged it into language. Why does this happen? Because attraction is not just verbal. It is orientational. The body moves toward what feels good, safe, compelling, interesting. And it subtly moves away from what drains it, bores it, or pressures it. This is why a desperate man loses before he even starts. He stares at her words, but ignores her comfort. He pushes for answers while her whole body is leaning away. Then he says women are confusing. No, he was ignoring reality because reality hurt his ego. Third, her neck and hair. Watch this carefully. When a woman feels comfortable and drawn in, she often exposes the neck area more, touches her hair, adjusts it, moves it away from her face, or creates more openness around that space. Not because she read a script, because openness and self-awareness rise together when attraction is present. The neck is a vulnerable area. When she relaxes it, reveals it, plays with her hair while staying engaged with you, that can be a strong sign of interest. But again, calm down. Not every hair touch is desire. Sometimes it's habit. Sometimes it's boredom. Sometimes it's just hair being hair. The difference is context. Is she doing it while leaning into the interaction, while sustaining eye contact, while staying close, while giving energy back? Context turns movement into meaning. And that is the lesson too many men never learn. Nothing means everything by itself. This is not magic. This is calibration. This is emotional discipline. This is what grown men do. They gather data without losing themselves. They notice without clinging. They remain steady while the truth reveals itself. Fourth, her hands. Hands tell on intention. Does she find reasons to touch your arm lightly? Does she hand you something and let the contact last a fraction longer? Does she mirror your gestures? Do her palms stay open instead of closed off? Does she fidget in a self-conscious but engaged way when you're speaking? Hands show whether she is closed, guarded, neutral, or inviting. Interest often creates animation. More expression, more touch, more small bridges of contact. Not because she's trying to manipulate you, because the body tries to close distance when the mind enjoys the connection. Now listen carefully, because this is where weak men get it wrong. These signs do not mean you own her attention. They do not mean she owes you a number. They do not mean force the moment. They mean there is enough openness for you to lead calmly, speak clearly, and see if the interest is real. That's it. Mature interpretation, not emotional inflation. The misconception is that attraction is about cracking a code. The hard truth is that attraction is easier to read than your fear wants to admit. The reason you miss it is not lack of information. It's lack of groundedness. You are too attached to the outcome, too eager for validation, too afraid of rejection. So instead of observing, you chase. Instead of listening, you perform. Instead of leading, you seek permission to believe in yourself. That cost is enormous. It costs you dignity. It costs you time. It costs you emotional energy. It costs you self-respect. Because every time you over-pursue a woman who is lukewarm, you teach yourself that your attention is cheap. Every time you ignore clear interest because you are insecure, you teach yourself that your fear is in charge. Either way, you lose. You lose when you force what is not there, and you lose when you shrink from what is. So reframe the entire game. Stop asking, how do I make her like me? Start asking, what is true here? Stop asking, what should I do to impress her? Start asking, is there mutual openness? Yes or no? Stop chasing certainty from her body. Start using her body language as one part of the truth, then bring your own clarity to the situation. That's called self-respect. That's called masculine steadiness. That's called living in reality. And let me tell you about the man who gets this right. He walks into a room and he is not hunting. He is present. He is aware. He is not trying to be the loudest voice. He is trying to be the clearest mind. He does not twitch every time a woman smiles at him. He does not spiral every time one doesn't. He has purpose outside of female attention, so he does not treat every interaction like a final exam. He listens fully, he speaks directly, he holds eye contact without trying to dominate. He notices interest without becoming arrogant. He notices disinterest without becoming bitter. He is not performing masculinity, he is rooted in it. That man has boundaries. He does not beg for mixed signals to become green lights. He does not over-message to rescue weak momentum. He does not bribe attention with endless availability. He does not collapse into self-doubt because one woman is not feeling it. He knows this simple truth. Attention is earned through presence, but self-respect is protected through standards. So if she is warm, he leads. If she is unclear, he slows down. If she is cold, he exits cleanly. No drama, no pleading, no resentful essays, just clarity. That is power, not control over her, control over yourself. So what do you do with these 4 signs? You use them properly. You don't worship them. You don't ignore them. You read them. Then you act like a man with options and composure. Do this. Slow your mind down. Watch for repeated eye contact, not isolated moments. Watch whether her feet and torso keep orienting toward you, especially when she has no reason to fake it. Notice whether her neck and hair behavior signals comfort and openness in context, not in fantasy. Notice whether her hands create little bridges of contact, openness, or mirrored rhythm. Then test reality with simple, direct leadership. Start the conversation. Hold the frame. Ask the question. Make the invitation. Small, clear, clean. Stop this. Stop reading one smile as destiny. Stop treating politeness like desire. Stop chasing women whose bodies are saying no while your ego insists on maybe. Stop flooding the moment with too much talking, too much proving, too much pressure. Stop trying to win people over who are not leaning in. That habit will bankrupt your confidence. Redirect your energy. Build a life that makes you less desperate desperate for signs. Train your body, sharpen your mind, handle your money, respect your time, speak truthfully, fix your posture, slow your speech, look people in the eye. Become a man whose center of gravity is internal, not borrowed from whoever happens to be attracted to him that week. Because when your life has direction, your perception improves. When your self-respect rises, your neediness drops. And when your neediness drops, you finally see clearly. You stop forcing chemistry, you stop negotiating with ambiguity, you stop performing for crumbs, you stop abandoning yourself just to keep hope alive. And that matters because the real mission here is not getting better at reading women. The real mission is becoming the kind of man who does not lose himself around them. Read that again in your mind. Not lose himself around them. That is the line. That is the standard. That is the victory. Yes, learn the signs. Learn the eyes, learn the feet, learn the neck, learn the hands, but understand the deeper point. These signals are useful because they bring you back to reality. They keep you from chasing illusions. They help you distinguish genuine warmth from empty fantasy. They let you move with precision instead of panic. And precision changes your whole life. Because a weak man needs certainty before he moves. A grounded man moves to gain certainty. A weak man wants guarantees. A grounded man wants truth. A weak man asks, what if she rejects me? A grounded man asks, why would I reject my own clarity just to avoid a moment of discomfort? See the difference? One worships outcome, the other honors reality. So the next time you are around a woman you're interested in, don't become a nervous actor in your own head. Become an observer. Become a man who can feel desire without becoming ruled by it. Become a man who can notice signals without manufacturing meaning. Become a man who can move forward cleanly if interest is there and walk away cleanly if it is not. That is rare. That is attractive. That is freedom. And here is the final truth most people won't tell you. The goal is not to get picked. The goal is to see clearly enough that you can choose well too. She is not the prize. You are not the prize. Truth is the prize. Mutuality is the prize. Self-respect is the prize. A real connection built without chasing, without guessing, without shrinking, without pretending. That is what grown people build. Everything else is theater. So raise your standard, read the signs, but don't worship them. Lead, but don't force. Stay open, but don't abandon discernment. Let your attention become more disciplined. Let your actions become more intentional. Let your identity become more solid than your cravings. Because once you get that, everything changes. You stop asking for permission to value yourself. You stop auditioning for affection. You stop begging confusion to turn into commitment. You stop betraying your peace for temporary excitement. And in that moment, you become dangerous in the best way. Calm, clear, unneedy, honest. The kind of man who can create connection without losing posture. The kind of man who can hear yes without getting drunk on it and hear no without getting destroyed by it. The kind of man who understands that attraction is not something to chase blindly. It is something to recognize, meet, and either build on or leave behind. That is your reset. You are not here to decode every woman on earth. You are here to reclaim your eyes, your standards, your center. You are here to stop living in fantasy and start living in truth. You are here to become a man who can stand in the tension of uncertainty without collapsing into need. You are here to respect yourself enough to read reality as it is, not as your loneliness wants it to be. You are the answer, not the line, not the trick, not the body language hack. You, your discipline, your standards, your self-respect, your ability to stay grounded in the presence of desire. That is the answer. So if you want more truth like this, subscribe and make this a place you return to when the world tries to soften you with lies and confuse you with noise. Stay close to people who choose clarity over fantasy, standards over impulses, and self-respect over chasing. You are not alone in that. You are building with a community that would rather face the truth than hide inside comfort.